On December 3, 1907, Maud Booth, co-founder of Volunteers of America, wrote a letter to the editor of the New York Times, asking readers that children of prisoners not be forgotten during the holiday season. Maud wrote,
"We must not forget that these children in the shadows are just as eager for toys and dolls as those who are playing in the sunshine of a happy home, and we welcome the chance to bring them back from a life of premature care to the joys of childhood."
It was Maud who pioneered Volunteers of America's role in the lives of children and families of prisoners by visiting them and delivering heartfelt messages and words of comfort. She guided loved ones of the incarcerated through the various stages of learning to live without, quite often, the head and provider of the family. She championed their cause and gave them inspiration, encouraging them to look up and hope.
Today, her deep compassion for these children and families lives on in Volunteers of America's work with families impacted by incarceration. Volunteers of America's commitment to these children and families is reflected in the words of National President Charles W. Gould.
We are dedicated to comprehensively supporting families as they overcome barriers, break the cycle of poverty, and achieve long-term success. By strengthening families, we are strengthening the prospects of success for the next generation.
Not only does Volunteers of America understand the trauma of loss of these children experience, but also the range of economic and social challenges that result from incarceration. And no program embodies this understanding better than Greater New Orleans Mentoring Children of Promise.
Although the Mentoring of Children of Promise program began in 2004, the wrath and devastation caused in 2005 by Hurricane Katrina left the program experiencing the same horrific loss as its neighbors. Thousands of residents were evacuated and relocated to different states. The few that had returned to the city found themselves struggling to get their homes repaired and their lives back to some semblance of normalcy. Churches that once partnered with and provided support for the Mentoring Children of Promise program prior to Katrina have been destroyed, and some congregations never returned, leaving churches dormant and in disrepair.
Mentoring Children of Promise rose from the ashes like a phoenix, and by January 2006, the program was operable. Today, the program has partnerships with 12 churches and dozens of local organizations, ensuring the program's success.
But Volunteers of America's Mentoring Children of Promise is not just a program to help mentor children of prisoners. It is a path to preserving families, taking a unique, strength-based approach, focusing on the child, the incarcerated parent, and the caregiver. In the past, many initiatives have overlooked families as co-producers, ensuring better futures for the children. By using a two-generation approach with an emphasis on families, it is possible to create sustainable and positive outcomes. Volunteers of America makes a commitment to stay with these families for the long term, hoping to help them conquer the barriers so often associated with those affected by incarceration. This is the key to the program's success, as one family shares its story.
At 15, Jamie was already considered deeply troubled by the school she attended, her community, and family. She was often described as defiant, violent, arrogant, and at risk for suicide. In addition, she had no parents actively participating in her life. Her mother was incarcerated and her father was deceased. Jamie's care had fallen onto her older sister, Alexandra, who had problems of her own. She had been diagnosed with cancer and was undergoing intensive chemotherapy treatments, which left her weak and tired, with little energy in dealing with a troubled teen. Things could not have looked bleaker for this family.
But then, in October 2008, Jamie was referred to the Mentoring Children of Promise program. The program immediately matched Jamie with a mentor, Samantha, who just so happened to be employed by the school district and was an owner of a dance studio. Jamie and Samantha met weekly, and before long, Jamie was enrolled in Samantha's School of Dance, at no charge to her or her family. A new dimension was added to Jamie's life. In what seemed to be a short time, Jamie was a different person, exhibiting a 180-degree turnaround in her behavior that left everyone gratefully surprised. The support that Jamie received is just part of the story.
Her sister and caregiver, Alexandra, was referred to supportive services as well. The mentor and program staff felt it was necessary to ensure that Alexandra, as caregiver, received the counseling and support she needed in caring for Jamie and herself in what was the most challenging of situations.
Today, Alexandra continues to receive family counseling, planned respite, and recreational respite to assist in minimizing the stress in her role as caregiver. She has watched her sister's behavior improve day by day and is proud to see the successful choices she is making. She is grateful for the supportive services Jamie has received, including psychotherapy and counseling through Volunteers of America's Family Resource Center.
As for Jamie, well, let's just say she's dancing her way back into the life she deserves. She's attending public school once again and has performed in her first dance recital.
On July 16, 2008, Volunteers of America's Mentoring Children of Promise made history by creating the 100,000th match of one caring American with one young person in exceptional need through a challenge set by the government's Mentoring Children of Prisoners program. And in 2009, through a joint venture of the Annie E. Casey Foundation and Volunteers of America, the Mentoring Children of Promise was recognized with a Family Strengthening Award. This award confirms the commitment made by both organizations to work towards improving the outcome for children by helping families succeed economically and interpersonally and connecting to natural support systems in their community.
Maud Booth certainly would have hailed the Mentoring Children of Promise program as the model by which all such programs be administered, and she would have recognized her own gentle spirit moving among the children, caregivers, mentors, and prisoners Volunteers of America serves today.